What's up, dudes and dudettes? It's your boy P Plays TCG, and today I got another banger with the Yappin Yonkos. Guest number 2, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Serial, Heart Pirates TCG. What up, Joey?
I'm blessed to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Of course.
The Yappin Yonkos. I like the name a lot. I think it's a good title.
Appreciate it, dude. I really do. Well, I guess before we start getting into anything, let's let the people know where you're from, you know, and what you're about, you know, and go ahead and plug in any socials you've got too. I'll make sure I'll drop them down in the description.
Sure, yeah. So I'm from Florida, born and raised in Jacksonville, where my boy VV Theory is also from, so shout out to him as well. I live in Vegas right now, moved out here for a girl, utter disaster. So we're probably going to be moving back to Florida, not Jacksonville, but maybe like the Tampa area. And I am also one of the co-founders of MoonlightTCG.com, where, you know, that's my website. You can kind of look ahead to the future tournaments coming up, the tournament results. You can get some cool products and sleeves and, you know, coaching and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Hey man, the locals, dude. Locals coming up. Discord. Those those prize cards are looking very good, my friend. I'm over here like overtooken, dog. I saw them things and I'm like ready to go. So, yeah, for those that are watching right now, we're gonna put the link for the Discord in. Come join. We got a fucking awesome community there. I say we, but just I'm a part of the community. Joey's got tons of people in there from all kinds of walks of life, man.
It's not even my Discord, bro. It's our Discord, straight up. Like y'all like this Discord would be nothing without like you and all the other like. We just have the best community, bro. I promise.
Yeah, it really is. It's so chill. Yeah, everyone gets along, and you know we have tons of awesome playing partners too. Okay, so if I look like I'm looking away, I'm not being rude, guys. I'm just kind of referencing my notes so I can make sure I articulate my words and we can get some good information. We'll dissect Joey a little bit and kind of understand who he is. So that being said, I guess my first question is, can you tell us the story behind Heart Pirates TCG and like how it all began?
That's a good question, actually. If that's the first question, I assume you're gonna have some pretty good ones. Yeah, I like that. So, for some reason, I've just always been a huge fan of Law. Ever since his inception into the series, I loved not only like his partnership with Beppo. I thought, you know, Beppo was like super cool, and like obviously Beppo was, I think, like the co-captain or something, right? I think
I don't know. Beppo's cool, man.
Yeah, Beppo's cool, but like his tattoos are cool. I've always been a fan of like characters and protagonists that can that use their brain to come up with like solutions rather than just like brute force, like, you know what I'm saying?
AKA Luffy.
Like, punch people. AKA Luffy, exactly. So I don't know why I chose like Heart Pirates specifically, but I just knew that like Law was my favorite character in the series, so or still is my favorite character in the series. So I just figured, hey, like, you know, I'm playing a lot of Law for set 1. Might as well just call myself Heart Pirates, you know.
Hey, that's all that matters, bro. Law's cold as hell though too. Shout out to my buddy Nathaniel again. He loves Law.
Yeah. When he stole like 100 of those like Navy soldiers' hearts.
Oh yeah, that was cold as hell.
He was like, nah, bro. Like if you follow me, I'm fucking puncturing like one every minute. Like I thought that was just such a sick ass like. His power is just like by far the coolest power in this series.
Oh, 100%, bro. And it feels like it hasn't even really been like unlocked yet.
It really has. He hasn't even scratched the ceiling of it. It's so sick.
Yeah. Look at that. OP11 GY Law. Anyway.
Yeah.
I guess my next question for you is what got you involved with TCGs?
That's man. These are good.
Appreciate
it. So when I was a kid, my brothers used to steal a shit ton of Yu-Gi-Oh cards from Walmart.
Hey, bro, I stole Yu-Gi-Oh cards from my older brother from the PX, dog. So, like, hey, ain't no judging here, bro. I had to have them structure decks, dog.
Bro, they all got caught too, bro. They all did like community service and shit. It was funny. But they were just having such a good time. Like card games were like a big part of their life. Like when I was a kid, I looked up to my brothers a lot and what they were doing because I have 3 older brothers. and they were just playing Yu-Gi-Oh for like years. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll play Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, sounds fun, right? And you know, like my brothers got me into like they kind of set the foundation for everything I was really interested in for like a long time, even to this day. Fire Emblem, one of my favorite series of all time. Now it's not that great anymore, but my brother Zach, who's like basically like my dad, basically. He got me on Fire Emblem, and he also, you know, partially got me into Yu-Gi-Oh, and he got me into One Piece. He got me into Your Lie in April. All that stuff is he got me into it. And when One Piece the card game came out, I actually found out about it first, and I messaged him and was like, we gotta play when it comes out. And then I completely forgot all about it until December 24th, New Year's Eve. I'm sorry, not New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, yeah.
Christmas Eve. We were out like last minute shopping, and we went to like the most busy Target in all of Jacksonville. And there was like hella starter decks, like starter deck 1 through 4, like when the game first came out. And we picked up one copy of each, and you know, it's just been like kind of like that ever since. It was actually, I think, honestly, like a sign from God, because after that day, we like never found like starter decks like ever again.
Oh god, dude. I started in OP5, like towards the tail end of OP5, and it was impossible to like find product. I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'll like, now that my LGS has like convinced me to play, I was like, oh, I'll buy some packs. And then I'm like, wait, there's no packs anywhere. And then I saw Whatnot, and like I saw why there was no packs, because these dudes are.
I knew you were big on Whatnot. You said, right?
Yeah, I did a little bit of Whatnotting for a while, man. But
why not, right?
Why? I mean, yeah, I was like on the way out of the army, and I was like, oh, dude, I could probably start a whole card business. All I have to do is scalp Walmarts. Yeah, that changed real quick.
Brutal business, though. Yeah, that's a
it
brutal
is.
business.
It is very brutal, bro. It's bad. Well, anyways, you kind of talked about your brother got you into One Piece. So my original question is like, what got you into it? But since we know it's your brother, like, how did he sway you into getting into the One Piece card game?
I didn't want to go too deep into it because I didn't know like what you had time for, but basically we bought the so yeah, my brother got me into card games, my brothers got me into card games, but I told my brother Zach, who was like caught up on like the manga and all that, like, you know, just I mean he's been on One Piece for, you know, since I was alive, you know.
Yeah.
One Piece came out in 1998 when I was born, and obviously he's like about 10 years older than me, so since I've been born he's been on One Piece. And when we found the starter decks, I never even opened mine. Like, I was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. Like, oh, I got the cards. But I actually didn't, for some reason, I wasn't interested in playing. But I think I was going through like one of those like depressive episodes or whatever, so I didn't like want to do anything.
Yeah.
And my brother, he downloaded the fucking tutorial app on the
phone.
Oh
my god, yeah, that's just fire.
Yeah, he was like, oh, this game's pretty fun. You should try it out. Like, it's kind of cool. And I was like, yeah, you know, whatever, I'll try it out. And like, bro, like every day he'd be like, oh, I just, you know, jet pistoled a Kaido or something, you know, whatever it was, right? And I was like, all right, fuck it, like let's roll it out, So we played a couple games, and he was playing Green Kid, which I didn't know at the time was like so broken. He was like double swinging and killing me every single. I was like, this shit is broken. Like, how can I win this game? You're playing Green Kid. So fast forward like a couple days. I'm sorry, a couple weeks after Christmas. So this is like into the new year. I was like randomly at like a card shop, and I found a box of OPO1 for like $120. And my brother's birthday is January 10th, so I bought him a box for his birthday. And he pulled like heat, like straight up like fucking gas, right? So we're like, let me get a box, right? Let me get a box. And so bro, we literally like went and bought like one box each, like 7 days in a row from like random LGSs. Like we would do like 120, 120, 120, 120. Like for like a week straight, we were just like addicted to opening these fucking boxes. And eventually they raised the prices to like $200, and we were still buying the fucking product because we were having so much fun opening them, and the cards were worth so much. I mean, the alternate art Nami and Zora were like fucking $200 something by themselves, right? The law alt art was like, you know, $300. So, you know, anytime we would open a box, we'd just sell the cards and like buy new ones, right? And we were like, oh my god. And then we started playing like with actual decks, right? Like now we have like the starter decks and the OPO1. We're like, okay, we're playing with decks. And yeah, man, we were just like from that. It was like off to the races. My brother literally like all that for him to quit like set 2.
Oh my god,
like,
that's crazy. Well, hey Joey, just move all the rest of this shit for me, man. I'm done.
No, he kept it, bro. Like he still buys packs too. He just doesn't play. Yeah,
that's so funny. Well, I guess.
Text me.
No, go ahead. You got please.
He'll text me like he opened up some packs, and he's like, I got some playable cards though, so it's worth it. I'm like, yeah, but you don't play. He's like, yeah, but if I ever did play, I have the cards.
Dude's just like compiling Grandmaster sets, everything, bro. He's got Boros, everything. He's just
literally, bro. That's exactly what he's doing.
At least like if you know you need a play set or something, you know who to hit up. Like.
Exactly.
Well, my last little introductory question for you is it's kind of like was it the chicken or the egg that came first? So were you watching One Piece first, or was the trading card game that got you into One Piece?
No, yeah, I've been on the anime for since I first was in AIT in the army actually.
Damn.
So when I was before AIT in the army, I watched like up until Alabasta. And I was like, it's alright. But back then, like, Crunchyroll, like, sucked actual dick. Like, you couldn't really watch anime on Crunchyroll, you know? I'm sorry, can I curse on your...
Oh, yeah, you're good, bro.
Okay,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like, Crunchyroll actually sucked, like, major dick. It was, like, so laggy, and, like, the stream was, like, always, like, 144p, so it was, like, really hard to watch it. And when I was in AIT, I had, like, hella time, because, like, I was in one of those, like, long AITs. For those of you guys who don't know, AIT is Advanced Individual Training in the Army. I had like one of the really long AITs where like we couldn't really do anything after like a certain time, like fucking curfew or whatever.
How long was y'all's AIT?
It was like 20-something weeks.
Damn, that's longer than mine. Mine was like 17.
Yeah, this shit was long. I was in Fort Lee, Virginia.
And I was in Fort Eustis, right down the road.
Oh shit, yeah. That's cool. But yeah,
well,
dude, like,
I'm old.
I had nothing else to do, so I was just like watching. I was like, I have to do something. Shit.
Yeah.
And back then, reading, you know, I didn't know how to read back then, so.
Still don't know how to read.
Just watching One Piece.
That's awesome, dude. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I guess since we got the intro kind of locked in, everyone got a little bit to know who Joey is. Let's talk about your YouTube content creation side of the house. So. That being said, my first question is like, what inspired you to start creating YouTube content?
Yeah. So when I first started the game, I was really into Blurple Crocodile and Law, and I actually didn't have all the cards for Law because we couldn't really find it. We didn't have. When I told you we bought all of the starter, like one of each of the starter decks, we actually couldn't find starter deck 1, Luffy. Like we found like 2, 3, and 4.
Okay, yeah.
So I couldn't play Law, and I couldn't play Doflamingo because I only had one starter deck, and my brother was using it, the Doflamingo. He was using like Doflamingo and Kid. So I was like, all right, fuck it, let me try to find like another deck. And I played Blurple Croc, and I was having so much fun with Blurple Croc, man. I was having so much fun. I was having a blast. And I kept looking like YouTube videos, like how people were building it, and like, no offense, but they all sucked. Like they were all like terrible deck lists. And I felt like mine was like way better. For some reason, like it was way better. And I was like, you know what, like. You know, all these people are trying to do like this like discard engine with like the 3-cost jack, and like they couldn't keep the 3-cost jack alive. They kept playing low to the ground. They couldn't like they had no kill pressure basically.
Right.
So I was like, why don't we just play a deck that like ramps 2/9 on and just establishes these like big ass bodies that just like punches people in the face. Very similar to like how RP Luffy's played right now.
Yeah.
I was playing a deck in set 1 with like Blurple Croc, like that same playstyle.
That's fire.
And I posted. I was like, fuck it, bro. Like if people don't have if like no one's posting it, I'm gonna post it. And I already had the camera, I had all the equipment because I was doing like I had like another YouTube channel, I was doing like random shit. Like it was like more of like a I don't even know what it was honestly. It was like just stupid.
Yeah, that's how this one started for me. That's basically how this channel was. Like I played Destiny 2. Like I'm a huge Destiny 2 nerd.
Yeah.
Like I have my own Discord with my whole clan and all dudes that I've been playing with for like probably 5 to 10 years, you know? And and like I was like making montages when I was like playing PvP and shit, but they're just bad. Like that's how my like that's like this whole channel. And then I was playing Apex. I was streaming that for a while, and then it's just that shit is just so toxic, bro. That game's toxic as fuck.
Bro, I'll tell you, bro. Every person I've ever met that plays Destiny gets like hooked on that shit. And like they love it. I just couldn't get into it for some reason, you know.
It's
but
like
I know
fucking
like people
heroin.
love that game.
And like they just, I know this was a sidebar, but like they just announced that they're doing an expansion, and I hadn't been like active in my own Discord in like a few months.
Yeah.
And then I just sent like a picture.
Final expansion, bro.
Well, yeah. Well, I sent a picture of like a heroin needle. I said, "Okay, I'm back." You know, like it's like this shit's like the needle is not far from the arm, dude. With that fucking game.
Yeah. No, bro. I thought their last light, or what is it, the final light or some shit? It was like
Final Shape. Yeah, Final Shape. But they're about to make another one.
It was like their last expansion, but I guess they're like, you know what, the money's so... They saw how Marathon was received, and they're like, you know what, Destiny's back, baby.
Destiny's back. Exactly, Destiny's back on the menu. All right. Well, to get back on task, I know you said that you played a few TCGs in the past, but before like I delve into that, why did you pick One Piece to focus on the YouTube side in particular, instead of like some of the other card games that you played?
Well, this was actually the first point in my life where I was really interested in a TCG, and I actually had like money to like pursue it. so when I played Yu-Gi-Oh, I was really good at Yu-Gi-Oh, but I was like a kid that literally like I come from a poor family, so like I just couldn't afford the cards, you know, let alone equipment for the cards. And then when I played Hearthstone, I didn't have the equipment to like record Hearthstone, even though I had a blast playing like OG Hearthstone, so much fun. But then again, that came out when I was in AIT for the military, and I just didn't have the like ability, like setup or time really to like to play and to make content for Hearthstone. So now that like a brand new card game came out that I'm obviously a huge fan of, I have a fucking tattoo on my hand, and I was just having a lot of fun with it. I had the money, I had the time. I was like, yeah, let me try it out. You know, I've always wanted to be like some type of content creator. I consider myself like a creative, I guess. I just like making things and building something out of nothing. So I thought it was like a perfect opportunity.
100%. Yeah, I can level that for sure. That's cool.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna do the same thing with like the new League of Legends game, by the way, too.
Yeah, my buddy, shout out to Legit Vocals, man. Like he.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my buddy. He's a judge, and he's like super big in the UA scene, and that's like he's like full in on that, and he's like salivating over League of Legends. So like. I know. I know. He's probably
gave like 10 years of my life to League, bro. I gotta give the card game a shot.
This guy still plays League of Legends, dude. So like, it doesn't surprise me.
I'm sober off League. I'm like 2 years clean off League. But
hey, that's good.
I'll give the card game a shot.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then that shit is it's just gonna be like Destiny 2, bro. It's just gonna slip right back in the veins. What was your biggest challenge when you first started up your YouTube channel?
I didn't have an identity on what kind of videos I really wanted to make. Okay. And I was just basing all the videos I was doing based on like what people were doing in Yu-Gi-Oh, like when I was growing up. And I just didn't really have, I don't know, like I wasn't good at like that, and I wasn't good at thumbnails. I still am not really like good at thumbnails.
Yeah, me either. Like, me either, bro.
Yours are fine. Honestly, yours are, especially when I first started, yours are better than mine. But I think, like, I just didn't have a direction on like where I wanted to go with my channel, and because I didn't exactly know what kind of player I was at the time, I didn't know like what kind of content to make. So I thought I was going to be kind of like the off-meta like king, where I was going to try to make like off-meta decks work, and like I still kind of do that now, but I figured out recently, I don't know if this is a question or not, so I apologize, but
no, go ahead.
I figured out in like set like 3 or 4 that I was actually like pretty good at the game. So I was like, maybe I should focus more on like the competitive side, because I feel like I have a lot of knowledge to give, and a lot of people are like hiding it behind, like gatekeeping it behind like paywalls and stuff. And while I used to do that, I was like, I'd rather just not. Like, I'd rather give away stuff for free and then use Moonlight TCG as like win-win type of like support. You know?
Yeah. I
like
100% agree with that because I think that you have a really good thing going on with your website. Between the play mats, which I can vouch for, like I won one in one of our first locals. The quality was extremely good, and then I need to order some of those Nami sleeves before they sell out. But like I like how everything's set up. I think it flows all right. I think Jimmy was like talking about he didn't really like it, but to be honest,
well,
I
there's
don't,
still
I don't
some
really have an
things
issue
that
with it.
there's still some like
Right.
development pains that are going. You know, it's not
Yeah, of
perfect,
course,
but
it's never going to be perfect. You're
yeah,
always going to make. It's just like anything, right? Like even you
yeah,
can take the card game. There's
yeah.
always room for improvement somewhere, and that's the most important thing. As long as you can realize like that you have room for improvement somewhere, that's when you're
Sure,
actually gonna
yeah.
improve. It's the people that think that they're like, nah, I don't have any room to improve, so like, why even try?
Yeah, the site's perfect. No,
Exactly.
the site definitely is not perfect, but I like the direction and the soul of it. The soul of it is I want to be a very player first. I want to be the most like player friendly like website that offers like great products, like
Yeah.
luxury like quality products. And I feel like if we build it, they will come, right? So for
100%.
example, like if we're like my whole brand on YouTube is like building up people to like the competitive scene. And if you want to play competitively, then you're gonna check out my website because that's where you're gonna go to, you know, look at the tournaments coming up. You're gonna look at the tournament results. We're gonna have rankings on there soon.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have articles with the master classes on there. And then yeah, if you want to support me in the process, you know, you're gonna get some nice sleeves out of it or some nice play mats. Like I feel like that's like the soul of it, and I really like that. You know.
No, I think it's really awesome. So through this whole YouTube journey, what is helps you stay like motivated and consistent? Because I know like just for myself, it like this week I posted the first episode of Yappin wit Yonkos, and then I didn't upload any other video to YouTube this week. I felt like I've only been sending videos out onto like TikTok, right? Because those are like so easy. It's like
Your
I can just
TikToks
take
are
it
good,
to.
bro.
Thanks, I
Your
appreciate
TikToks
it.
are awesome.
I appreciate it, but yeah. So what's your secret behind staying motivated and consistent?
God, dude, you have like, I gotta start doing this anytime I interview because like these questions are good. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that I do suffer from bipolar 1. I am unmedicated, so for me, I'm not as consistent even as I want to be because some days I just get out of bed and I just don't have like the mental like fortitude to just like talk in front of a camera. I know it sounds like imagine like our fucking ancestors hearing that, right? You know,
Nah,
like
but
that died in war, but it's just true. Like,
no,
you know,
but I
like,
get it, bro, because
unfortunately,
I'm diagnosed with I said I understand where you come from because I'm diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety, depression, a lot. I mean, it's all combat related for the most part. So like I know, like I went and people can judge me if they want, but I went like a week where I was just like not taking a shower, bro, not brushing my teeth. I just wanted to hide away, and I have a wife and kids, and
it's real.
this is prior to me like being medicated as well too. So I get it.
Your sacrifice, like it comes with a cost, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
And it sucks for sure, but yeah, dude, like it's. I mean, and you did like way more in the military than I did, so like it's honestly like you're a fucking hero for real. But yeah, dude, like I'm like a lot of people that do suffer from things like that, like PTSD or depression or
Bipolar.
like anything like mood fluctuating disorders.
Yep.
It's really hard to be consistent. But I'll tell you what has helped me out the most is I'll tell you I'm more consistent now than I was back then because I just have such a strong community now. Like with our Discord is like a huge motivation for me.
Yeah.
Not only that, but now like obviously like VV Theory is like one of my closest friends and he's like popping off and it makes me want to like obviously like stay up to date with the game so him and I can collab and then like have a good time talk about One Piece. But not just that, but it's just like I don't know, like I want to be an entrepreneur as well. I've just always wanted to be like some type of like creative entrepreneur, whether it be like the book I'm writing or like the website I'm making or the YouTube channel. Like I just feel like this is like I was blessed with like a very unique gift to play this game at a really like high level. And I said this now, like I'm blessed. I was just praying last night to God. I was like thank you so much. Like I just got. I'm sure you saw. I got my 5th top 8.
Yeah, I did. I saw that yesterday. I definitely want to dive into that a bit here in a little.
Sure. Yeah, and I was just thanking God last night. I was like, man, like I feel like I've been just given like this amazing opportunity, and sometimes like I stray away from like religion and faith and stuff like that, and I'm constantly reminded that, like anytime like I need something, I feel like I've been provided like it by God, and it keeps bringing me back to One Piece, and I gotta kind of keep that in mind when I'm trying to keep playing this game, because I'm like, if I ever like need money, right? I'm like, okay, I can just like practice and play in this tournament and get a cereal, right? Like that's happened like at this point like 3 or 4 times where like I've like needed like to buy something like major, whether it be like money to like move to a different city or money to like even pay rent. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I've struggled like you know, especially like when I first started doing YouTube, and like it's come at like a very important time, and it obviously it came from One Piece. So, yeah, dude, like, I just feel like God is, like, telling me to play this game, and it sounds weird, but it's just
nah,
truth,
it doesn't sound weird. Like, anyone that practices faith, like, I'm still in my church clothes, bro. I, like, went to church, and then I went to my mother-in-law's, and I'm like, hey, I got to get back to the house. I want to do this podcast with Joey. I guess that's what we can call it, right? Like, if I'm going to have guests on, and I guess I'm the host, right? We can call it a podcast, call it what it is. But yeah, dude, I'm very like I am very very high on the everything happens for a reason. You know, there's many times where I like pray to God that I didn't get like shot down, not to like try to come off topic or take away any of the light, but no, like it like.
Even if I give you some advice just real quick,
yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Like people want to hear about you too. Like I know you're interviewing me, but like any type of like anything related to like, you know, what I'm saying, or anything that's like obviously like who you are, people are going to be interested in that. Like that's the foundations of you. So if people are going to watch you and like your channel, they're going to like want to hear that, like, dude, you're a fucking war hero. Like you went overseas like multiple times. Like you were in like attack helicopters. Like you've done a lot for this country, and like I think that you should be proud of that, and like never be like, sorry to get off topic. One, that was like kind of on topic. But two, like that's who you are, you know. Like your life is like super interesting, bro. And I'm sure people would be like super interested to like learn about you through your videos and this podcast, you know. Because there are like a lot of stuff like no one's heard about this either from my side too. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. My last question, until we move on to some of the like gameplay strategy stuff, is well, I guess it's like a double question. One, do you ever script videos, or are you just kind of like off the hip type of guy, or and excuse me, how do you decide on what content to post, like whether it be deck profiles or, you know, a kind of like your most recent videos, like your GY Law, like, hey, you know, this deck is good, GP Luffy. Like, how do you decide what you're going to post? You know, what's your thought process behind that?
Yeah, so I sometimes script parts of my videos. Like, for example, if I'm doing like master classes, I want to make sure that it's like concise. Because my old videos that I used to do with master classes came out a little. It felt like under-prepared and under-explained. So in certain parts of videos, like when I really want to get a point across, I'll script those out. But for the most part, I don't normally script my videos. As far as what I decide to post, I'm one of those people where I am not. So like. This is not VV Theory like by any. Everyone knows I love VV Theory.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, if you hate VV Theory, you're a shitty person. That's just like, that's it. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Exactly. So like VV Theory, his whole thing is like giving every deck the opportunity to like see a spotlight and like just showing people what the deck is. You know, best case scenario. That just isn't my style. So I only show decks that, one, I believe in, or two, are like brand new that have potential. So for example, you guys will never see me put like some random like terrible deck on my channel.
Iceberg.
Yeah, like I just don't believe in it. Now, if I play a deck that's like underrepresented and I have like success with it, like Carrot, for example, that Carrot video I put out, I was like, bro, I went on the rank simulator and won like fucking 9 games in a row at like a 3 billion berry bounty. I was like, what in the fuck is this? Like,
Joey,
this is crazy.
Let me tell you, because of the Carrot video, Zach took Carrot to the online regional yesterday, and he went X4 and dropped. This man, he's been every fucking local that we've had. Zach is like, yo, Carrot, it's got the best matchup spread all set this set. Like, this deck doesn't lose. This deck's crazy. No one can beat this deck, bro. He went. I get a first message. He goes, Ploofy, round one. Fuck, right? Like,
you're supposed to be Fluffy though.
I don't know, bro. I'd have to look at the messages. I'm probably paraphrasing. Sorry, Zach, for shitting on you, but I don't think Carrot was the move. He was.
Bro, Carrot. I said this in the video. I was like, it might not be the best deck, but this shit's kind of saucy, bro. Like, I was out there winning, like, bro, I beat, like, Purple Luffy, Blackbeard, Ophi, bro. I was beating all these decks, like, on a pretty high bounty, too, man.
Yeah, no, that's pretty funny.
It might not be the best, that shit's good.
No, look, I'm not saying it's not saucy, like, but, like, I told him, I'm like, you have to remember, he's like, oh, what are you going to do if I top a Carrot? I'm like, well, bro, like, if you top a Carrot, that'd be awesome. But you have to remember, once you play it on the high tables, it doesn't matter what deck is sitting across. Your opponent is at a high table for a reason, because they know matchups. Like, they know rogue matchups. They know meta matchups. You know, like, they already know the matchups. Like, you're not gonna pull one over on them. They know you play Garchu. They know the cards that you can play in the deck that will lose them the game, because otherwise they're not a high level player, right? Like, that's stuff even I think about, and I'm not on table fucking 15 or 20, you know what I mean? So, shout out to Zach for being a goober.
Yeah, I guess to finalize that question, I decide what content to post based on what I actually believe in is like at least semi good. So, for example, like, the worst I will ever do is like semi good, like that Calgura video I put out, Carrot. Things like that. Like, I will not post a deck that, like, I just, like, go on the simulator and lose, like, 10 games in a row, and I win, like, 2 games against, like, shitty players, and be like, this deck's got some potential. Like, nah, but this is not me. So whatever deck, like, I'm having fun with at the time, or, you know, a lot of times, like, people will, like, recommend me to play a deck, and I'll, like, if I believe it, like, could be something, I'll try it out, and, like, I'll try different versions of the deck, and if I find, like, a version that is, like, decent, I'll be like, okay, I'll post this, and if I find some success with it, if I find, like, it's actually, like, if I would personally watch the video, that's what I'll post.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I guess this is gonna be off the hip, because now I'm just curious. Before I know I said I was gonna go into the gameplay / your strategy thinking.
Sure, yeah,
but what is one of your favorite videos or favorite moments through the process of, like, your YouTube creation so far?
Oh my God, great. That is a great question. I would say one of my favorite. So my best video I ever did was, like, this video called, like, 7 Tips to Win More Games. And I wish if I could do anything back over again, I would do that video, because I left so much on the table. Like, the editing was terrible, the production quality was terrible, but it got like 60,000 views.
Wow.
And so, like, I should say, the reason I'm bringing that up is I should say that's my favorite video, but it's, like, one of my least favorite videos, because the amount of views it got to how little, like, effort I put into that video, I wish the people watching it got a better first impression of me, because a lot of people that watch that video probably never saw my channel again. So I wish that's like probably my least favorite video, even though it was my best video. My favorite video ever was probably the video I put out called, like, Concepts of Pressure.
And oh yeah, that's a good one.
I was really proud of that video, because it's the first one I've ever seen of its kind, and I felt like I really articulated it in a good way, and, like, helped a lot of people out. So I feel like that's, like, my favorite video I ever did. But in terms of, like, categories, categorically, the masterclasses are my favorite videos to put out, because I think that, like, not only no one gets that for free, but people also. Not to, like, suck my own dick or anything, but, like, I have five top 8s now, and, like, a ton of, you know, anything, like, top 16 plus.
If you got it, you got it, baby.
No one gets that kind of, like, no one gets that kind of stuff for free from a player of my, like, of my accolades. So I'm like very proud that like I'm able to do that. I'm the only person to ever do that in this space. So
yeah, I think
I'm pretty, I'm blessed for that. Like, I like that, you know.
It's really, really good for the community, and especially like new players too. Like, your videos are never talking in ways where like oh, like only like people that have been around for a while can understand. You always break stuff down. I like to go back to my roots, like Barney style. You know what I mean? Like break it down. I get it. Oh,
Yeah.
you know, like when I was learning how to fix helicopters, it's all right. Remove 6 bolts, you know, or break the torque from 6 nuts. Like okay, like wrench,
Okay, yeah.
nuts. All right, what's
Yep.
next? Take the bolts
ABCs.
out. Yeah. Oh, it's okay. We take the bolts out, right?
Yeah.
Like I think you do a good job at breaking it
Lefty
down.
loosey, righty tighty.
Exactly, and you'll never know how many people actually forget that until they're told to, hey, take this off. This is part of a test. They're like, oh. All right.
Yeah.
So, I already know the answer to this question, maybe, just because I've been around for a little bit. However, what is your favorite leader, Joey, and why?
Oh my god. I used to say it was Sakazuki, bro, but after the success I've had with Doflamingo,
Yeah.
I texted one of my friends. I want to pull it up. I think.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
I've played in like a few different tournaments with Doflamingo. I took a big break from set 7 and came back at set 8.5 when Dofi came out. I have 3 top 8s, 1 top 16, 1 bubble out of top 16, which means like I went like 8-2 or whatever, and then like my tiebreakers fucked me, and then 2 top 64s with Dofi. Like I have had so much fun playing this deck because it's such a hard deck to play at like the top tables. Like when you're playing against like even when Gecko was still around, bro. Like people think Jinbei's broken. Imagine people are just like ice aging, wiping your whole fucking board every turn.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like when you're playing a deck like Dofi, where like the only way you can win is if you could like master reading board state and like applying pressure at the right times and like managing your resources and like it's so fun because like one wrong mistake against a good player and you're just done. You're cooked.
Yeah.
And I love like I told you why Law was my favorite character, or why like Law's character was my favorite type of character, like the big brain people. I love when people are able to use their brain to like get out of situations. One of my favorite show ever is White Collar. I don't know if you've seen that or not. It's like a
No, I don't think I have.
This guy's name is Matt Bomber. He's like a super handsome ass like dude. But the whole show is like him being a criminal, basically like using his brain to like catch other criminals. Very similar to like Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, that's a good. With the magicians, or are you talking about the OG one with like Leonardo DiCaprio or whatever?
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, that's a good
movie. It's based on the book, yeah. But that type of like that whole style, whether it be like in movies, TV shows, or in card games, I love that like the only way for me to see success, or like the biggest factor between like failure and success, is like your own brain. Like you are your own biggest enemy, and I like being able to attribute my success to like my own level of skill. So I really love the way that Dofi plays, because you don't play a character over the cost of like 7K. So like, you're just like battling with like 5K bodies, but like it's not like Zoro where like every body like pluses. It's like they plus conditionally. Well, yeah, I mean, not like shitting on Zoro.
No, it's fine, bro. I'm a brain dead player, like through and through. So.
Yeah, like Dofi pluses conditionally, which means like you have to like Sengoku like set up like your Law, and then like play Teach at the right time, and like not use Teach when your hand size is low, like when to value Perona. Like there's just like random shit like that you have to know with Dofi, and a lot of people think it's like, oh, Jinbei Weevil, when it's really just like not. And I don't know, like I just love Dofi for that reason. It used to be Sakazuki, but now it's Dofi for sure.
Well, that's good. I appreciate you like breaking that down. I personally like I had a pretty good idea that's what it was. I mean, I watched you top at One Piece Day the first day, and then you got top 32 the second day, right?
Yeah, that was when I bubbled out top 16. I went 7-2, and I lost to a subscriber actually. I sat down and round 8, I sat down. I was 6-1, And he goes, "Oh my god, I watched all your videos." He goes, "Your videos are why I'm here right now."
It's
I was
dope,
like,
bro.
"Oh, when someone tells me that, I know I'm gonna lose, bro."
Fate, the stars are lining up right
now. Multiple times. Anytime someone tells me they watch my videos and they're at like the top tables, I'm like, "Oh, I'm cooked, bro."
Because they know how you, they kind of know. They have a good idea of how your brain works, right? Because you put out all this content. All right.
They know how I think, bro.
All right. So here's my next question. When what is your thought process when approaching deck building?
So the number one thing is I'll never play a deck competitively that has like a popular auto loss matchup. So for example, the reason I'm playing Dofi right now is because Usopp's like not very popular. So I'm fine with Usopp being a really hard matchup. It's not an auto loss, but it's pretty close to one.
Yeah.
But so like for example, that's why I haven't really played Lucci, because like BY and Blackbeard, like why would I play Lucci? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going into a tournament, and if I just match up against a random deck that is like very popular, I just lose. Like I hate that. So when it comes to like choosing a deck, I'll never choose a deck that has a popular auto loss matchup, because you're just like shooting yourself in the foot, and you're losing based on like RNG, which I don't like. When it comes to deck building, that's a good question, because I'm one of the few people that has like topped consistently with these like weird ass like builds. Where it's like I play like weird ratios, like one pudding. I played one Gecko, the 4/6 vanilla Gecko in my recent top 8. One Kaido, one Kaya, one pudding, one 3,000 worlds. Like, my philosophy is, I want to have a very consistent deck, but I also want to I want to cover all my matchups and have cards that can win me matchups that are likely to come up in a situation. So for example, if I'm playing in a 10-round tournament, I want to have the cards in my deck to deal with the randomness of a 10-round tournament. And even if that means making my deck slightly less consistent, I'm fine with that, because as long as I'm drawing like at least like, if I don't just like completely brick, I feel like I can win any game.
Yeah.
Because I can just like I'm confident in my own abilities. And I want to be able to give myself the best opportunity to win games where like these cards could come up. So for example, like I was one of the few people that was playing Kaido originally, and I've still been playing Kaido because it's just it like is so strong in certain matchups, and it won me like 4 games yesterday. It was like insane. And I put that in the deck because I know that I can do really well with just base kit Dofi, and I'm gonna add cards that are gonna win me situations where I normally lose. And as long as I can add like 2 or 3 cards to my deck that can win me a situation where I normally wouldn't win, it's going to like guarantee me like an extra 2 wins in a regional. And I'm like, I'll like top every single regional or like treasure cup that I go to, almost every single. Obviously there's like variants, because I have the tools in my deck to deal with like all these different decks, whereas other people, they don't.
Yeah, it's smart. I like that approach. So you're kind of like teching for what you believe is going to be, you know, the most prominent. Like, we know for sure when you pull up to a thing, you're going to see the fucking hockey boy, right? Like, you know, everyone and their mother is going to be on Shanks. And you're probably going to see a few Ploofies. Is not as relevant, like, right now. It doesn't feel like, anyway. And then now you got the limbs. I watched your limb game yesterday. A motherfucker top decks a Mihawk to beat you. It's crazy. Not to like salt in a wound, but holy shit, bro! I was like, because I heard like you talk about like your thought process in like going and making certain moves, and I hear you. You're like, okay, what can you do? All right, you're swinging with leader first. Like, you even asked him like, why are you sequencing like this? Like, this is so weird.
That's bro. I was like, if he has the Mihawk, wouldn't he swing with his Dofi first to play around a Gravity Blade trigger? Like, isn't that like that guy actually played fucking insane, bro? So like that's why I took the life. Because I was like, there's no way he has Mihawk. Well, even if he had Mihawk, then I lose either way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if he does the Mihawk and I take the life and it's a Gravity Blade trigger, then he automatically loses. Yep. So like, I already searched my deck with Sengoku like 3 or 4 times, and I only bottom decked 1 of my 2 Grav Blades. So I was like, there's a chance that like this last life is a Grav Blade, because I still technically like based on what I've seen in my deck, I still haven't seen 1. So like I was like, if you top deck the Mihawk, I'm sorry, if you have the Mihawk and you swing with your leader first and you automatically lose. So like that guy played like kind of crazy, and I wanted to like punish him for it, because that was like the reason I took that life is like the only way I could win is if I like punish them for like swinging like
with the leader first. Right.
Yeah. So like it didn't work out for me, but like hey,
it is what it is. But I mean,
there's a chance that it does, you know.
What can you do when he top decks the answer? Like he needs to have the Mihawk to win, and then he has the Mihawk to win. Like, you know, there's literally
and
nothing
even
to do about it.
Even if he has the Mihawk to win, he still put himself in a position to lose. And that when I tell people, sorry to get off topic.
No, you're good. It's not on topic. This is all good stuff.
When I coach people, I tell them like, even if you lose right now, if you do the same play 100 times. Even if it's a really small chance of you winning, if you just do the right play every single time, you're gonna win 5% more games because you're just like sequencing better than your opponent.
Yep.
And like as long as you put yourself in a position to win, rather than just like put yourself in a position to just not lose, you're gonna win way more games. And that right there, me taking that life, I put myself in a position. I was going to lose either way, but even if I wasn't going to lose, I put myself in a position to like automatically win the game if I get a little bit lucky because he fucked up. So like that was like my thought process. I think.
I get that because like as a former degenerate NL player, like my favorite thing ever was when people played like they're like, oh, I'm gonna swing with leader first, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Oh,
and then it's like, hey, let's go gambling, ding 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 ding, pow, and I'm like, hey, let's kill that character that could have won you the game, but now it doesn't exist. I know, by the way, I'll heal one, like, you know what I'm saying, bro? Yeah. So I get it, like,
everybody knows it's you, bro. Everyone knows about sequencing and losing because of it, it's you.
Shout out to everyone that's died to triggers. Chill Warlord.
Shout out to anyone that's been beige.
Bro, I got beige, I think for the first time last week, and I still won. But I was like, oh fuck! I was like, this isn't good.
Feels bad, huh?
It does feel bad, and I wanted to bitch about it, but I'm like, I literally have no room bitching. My next question, like another kind of twofer here, it's how do you balance competitive play and having fun? Also, what do you think separates good players from being great players?
Great question. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I have fun playing competitively, so that's just like my balance there.
Yeah,
I actually don't even play. I don't even play casually. I only play the game when I'm like playing at locals or obviously regionals. And when I don't play at locals here in Vegas because I'm just like not like I'm a fan of like some of the people, but just like not like most of the people. I would say there's like a couple cool people. I don't really like them a lot. Like I don't like the people here enough to like play at locals. So right now I'm pretty much only playing competitively. And for me, using my brain, it's like the same philosophy as people that like puzzles or like Sudoku. I like using my brain to like play games. You know, that's why I'm a big fan of like turn-based RPGs or puzzle games or something like that because I just think it's fun. So I don't play casually, so there isn't really there isn't a balance because the only times I play, I have fun playing competitively. So that's the first answer to the first question. The second question is for how do I what's the difference between a good player being great? I think there's a few different things. One is like I told you about that Dofi play right there, where I was playing against the Limb, and I knew that if he had Mihawk and I counter, then I automatically lose.
Yeah.
If he has Mihawk and I take it, and it's not a counter, it's not a gravity blade to bottom deck the only guy he can attack with, then I automatically lose. So it's like, but in that second route, I automatically win if I get a little lucky and punish him for his bad play.
Yeah.
So part of it is like punishing players based on like their lack of knowledge with the game. And I think another big part of this game is being able to be very flexible with your plays based on the information your opponent gives you. And I tell everyone that I coach that every single piece of every single action in this game gives you some type of information. It's not like in other games where, like, for example, like Hearthstone, there's not really a lot of like information you can gather because it's not interactive like One Piece is. Or Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is interactive, but not in the way that One Piece is because,
I was gonna say not in the way that One Piece is. Like I see where you're coming from.
Exactly. You can't like gather like exact information like you can in One Piece. So for example, when you used to play against Lucci back in the day, you knew if they had 10 dot, they had all the opportunity to play Ice Age Gecko, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
But now if they use 1 Dawn to do whatever, now you're like, okay, at most you can go Ice Age Gecko, right? And now if they use 2 Dawn, now the best they can do is Gecko, but no reduction events. If they use 3 Dawn, okay, well now they can't play Gecko. Now are they going to play Jack? So basically, you take that type of information and apply it to everything. It's like, okay, why are they? The question I asked Lim, why are they sequencing in this way if they have Mihawk? It makes no sense. So I'm going to take, he's trying to bait me into countering so I can, so he can, do something else, like swing with, the fucking zero-cost Lim or whatever, or the zero-K Lim. So, that was, information given to me. Or another example is if someone gives you 2 1Ks instead, this happened in the Marco game. Round 8, I played against a Marco. And that game was insane, by the way. Did you see that game?
No, I didn't get to. I was out.
Oh my god, I'm gonna make a video of it. The game was fucking crazy. But this Marco literally killed everything I had on curve. And I went. He had 1 life and 6 cards in hand, or 5 cards in hand, something like that. And I went 8 into his leader with my Dofi, and he gave me 2K, 1K, 1K, and he also left the Dawn up for no reason basically that turn, right? Because he was trying to bait an event.
Yeah.
And the next turn, he had 3 cards in hand, 1 Dawn up. He left the Dawn up again, right? And then I literally just had my leader in Teach. So I swam 9-9, and I won the game because he only could get to 9K encounter. But I took the information that he gave me was he had the Dawn up last turn, so he probably does play events, right?
Yeah.
But even if he does play events, it's unlikely that he has it because he gave me 2K, 1K, 1K on the following turn when he has the Dawn up. So if he would have had the event already, he would have gave me the event. Plus, if he gave me 2K, 1K, 1K, Marco is likely to play a card like Divine Departure. So if he doesn't have any 2Ks, if he leaves the Dawn up and I swing 9-9, even if he has the Divine Departure, if he doesn't have any 2Ks, he has to get a 2K from life for him to win the game. Whereas if I go 8, he could Divine Departure or Radical Beam and give me a 1K. And then just automatically win. So it's I know that's a crazy, long-winded thing to say, but that type of information is what makes. If I would have lost that game, I would have probably bubbled out of top 16 and gotten top 32, and obviously my prize would have been way less.
Yeah.
But that information right there, along with one other thing, in the same exact tournament, the next round, this Shanks player is playing super defensive the entire game to play around pudding, and then he had 9 cards in hand when I started really attacking big, and I had pudding in my hand, and I decided to give him. I decided to discard the pudding when he had 9 cards in hand, because I was like, if you're gonna play around pudding the entire game, and now you're not playing around pudding, even if you have 9 cards in hand, you don't have any counter, because if you're gonna play around pudding for 5 straight turns, and now you're gonna go to 9 cards in hand, it's why would you do that? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So even though you have 9 cards in hand, I'm not gonna play pudding because I'm gonna fucking give you extra counter. So it's I guess to sum it up, being able to be flexible with your plays and being able to take information from every facet of the game and apply it to logic and decision making, and then basically doing that, I think is what is the difference between a player that gets top 64 or bubbles out of top 64 and a player that gets top 16 or top 8.
Okay, I like that, dude. I don't think that was long-winded at all. Maybe some people will, but those. Can you, Snoopy, go lay down.
Yeah, I get really nerdy about shit like that. I love talking about decisions like that. I think it's so fun. It's the psychology behind the game. I think that's really cool.
Nah, I totally understand it because when I was flying, every decision that you make impacts everyone around you, right? Because when you fly in a helicopter, you can't pull over if something goes wrong, and me, I went as far as being a standardization instructor, which is the highest you can go, in the flying realm. You start as a BMT, which is basic mission train. Then you go BMQ, basic mission qualified, FMQ, fully mission qualified, FE flight engineer instructor, and then you have standardization instructor. So as a standardization instructor, I was in charge of managing everyone's training. I'm in charge of what's going on, the decision-making process on the aircraft, right? If there's emergency procedure, okay, hey, what's going on? I have to assess the situation. I have to understand where I'm at, how high are we? how fast are we going? You know, what is actually wrong? Is it like a false indication? Okay, you know, are we losing hydraulic fluid? Like, how big of an emergency is this? Like, do we have time to you know, it's all split second decisions that you're making, but they're all like detrimental to what's happening in that situation, right? Even like when you're deployed, like, you know, we're gonna go and hit a target somewhere, and like I have to think about, all right, hey, I have a brand new guy that's sitting behind us, never shot the gun before. Like, what if we get engaged? What are we gonna do if he doesn't shoot because he freezes up? Like, you know, what happens if one of my guys gets hit on infill, or you know, like it's all like the small decision making processes, I think. And I think that's probably why and I think that's probably why I enjoy the game so much, is because like small micro decisions can decide a game. Like, you can literally decide a game on turn 2 by countering with the wrong card. You know, like, damn, like, why did I counter with that when I could have done something else?
And for your example right there with like the helicopters, it's like if you are a instructor and you are, you know, instructing all the training on helicopters, you want to make sure that the people that you are training can make the right decision and come to the right conclusion on like situations, so they don't just like fucking die.
100%.
And obviously, like, that's like a way more extreme version than One Piece. But you know, if you're training someone and you're losing hydraulic fuel or whatever it is, or you know, you're like, okay, well, the answer for that is like, you know, you either find a way to, you know, patch the whatever, right, patch the hole in the fucking tank, or you know, the goal is, you know, an emergency landing. You want to make sure that you're like coming to that conclusion quickly, so people's like lives are saved, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, in a way less severe version with One Piece, if you're coming to the right conclusions when you're getting into like situations that are like life or death in the game, right?
Right. Yeah.
Then you're gonna come out ahead. But if you freeze up in the game, just like you freeze up when, like, you know, it's your first time getting in combat, then bad shit is gonna happen. You want to make sure that you're reacting at the right times. It's a perfect one-for-one example. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
100%. So now that we kind of dissected your brain a little bit on like your gameplay and your strategy thought process, I kind of want to go into like community and your interaction / outreach within that. So my first question is, how has the One Piece trading card game community as a whole impacted your journey as a content creator?
Oh, that is an interesting question right there. That is a loaded question. So,
maybe we should word it different. I don't know.
The cats. I mean, anyone who knows me at this point has known like the things that I've said regarding things. I'm not gonna
right. Yeah. No, we don't have to bring it up.
So in terms of like my journey, right? I'll say that one, I definitely learned. I have learned, and I still have a long way to go when it comes to like internet maturity. And I used to, like, whenever I first started my YouTube channel, I was getting like hella hate comments, bro. Like straight up, like not. I think obviously it was positive. If it wasn't mostly positive, I wouldn't do it, right?
Yeah, I get it.
But I was getting a lot of like hate comments, like, you know, you haven't even topped, and like you're making, you know, these like types of you've only known me since like I've been like a serial winner, but when I first started doing YouTube, obviously I didn't have one for like the first three sets, and I was getting a lot of hate for that. Like, how do you even know what you're talking about? You have no like proof to like back it up. So like that was pretty tough. And then like people just don't like me sometimes, and they'll just comment like rude shit like in my YouTube comments. And I used to fire off on them, honestly. And then I got to a point where I'm like, I just stop them from commenting, right? I just block them, and like now they can't comment on my videos anymore. Now, but like I would respond first before blocking them, so I get the last word in. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes that shit still feels good though. You're like you're a dumbass bitch, bro, and then stop them from commenting.
Block. Hey, what's up now?
But now it's like the weight is off my shoulders, because I just have so much success with this game now that I just, like, nothing anyone says is gonna like invalidate anything that I do when it comes to this game. And like even when it comes to like personal attacks, like people don't even like know me. You know what I'm saying? Like the only people
100%.
that like could even hurt my feelings are like people in our Discord because like they know me more than like just a random person commenting, I would say. So when it comes to like my journey with the community, I've learned a lot of internet maturity, like what not to say, when not to even reply to people, when not to get angry when people are like calling me out. And I still have a long way to go for sure, but also like yeah, I've also just been so blessed by the community that I don't need to really worry about that type of stuff as much anymore, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100% makes sense.
Yeah.
And you know, to be honest, at the end of the day, dude, you're still a human, and I think a lot of people like nowadays, and I sound like an old head saying that, but I'm like 31, bro, so I'm pretty old.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone loves to talk shit on social media and everything.
Yeah.
But those are the same people that like will not open their mouth like in a social space. You know what I mean? This finally that's the real star of the show right there is Baxter, bro. See, I told you it wouldn't be a HP video if Baxter wasn't in it, dude. He made a special appearance.
Can I add one thing? Can I add one thing to that?
Go for it.
You brought up a really good point.
Yeah, go for it.
And yeah, hey, buddy. I also for a long time didn't know if I should just be myself on the internet. And also, not even just that, I felt pretty lost in my life, and I didn't really know exactly like who I was. And I started this channel almost like I think maybe a little over 2 years ago. Maybe like give or take, right? So I was still growing up. You know, I'm 26. I was like 24 at the time, maybe like 23, and I was still going through a lot of shit in my life, and I was still like growing as a person. So when I first started, making content, I didn't understand like how to balance being like an internet persona rather than just like a real person. And I came to the conclusion when I came back from my break in set 8, when I started playing Dofi, that I was gonna like unapologetically be myself. And I don't care if it's like something people don't want to hear or not. Like I'm just gonna be myself. And it doesn't contradict with like internet maturity, like knowing what to say or when to say it. Because it's like you can be yourself while also like not like starting like problems with like other people or like saying like just like shit you shouldn't say. It's just a part of like maturity and growing up. And I learned a lot about just like being. I learned a lot about myself just like by being like a voice in a community where there's not a lot of voices. And like the community taught me a lot. I would say for sure. That was a great question.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And like I'll double back and I'll say like I'll bring it up again. Like people behind the screen, they forget that like we are humans. I don't have the kind of following that you do, but I do like remember, like I said, when I used to stream Destiny 2, people would literally just come into my chat. I'm like streaming to 0 people, and I'm just vibing, having a good time with my buddies and just like talking, and people are coming in like, dude, you suck. Like, that's not how you use that weapon. And I'm like, thanks for coming, like, hey, nice to meet you too, dickhead. Like, I don't get, like, but, and that stuff used to bother me. And then, like, the way I see it now is just, like, you, like, talking shit about me, like, on the internet, or, like, if you're even, like, talking on my channel, you're still giving me the satisfaction of views and, like, you're clicking on my shit, so no matter what, I'm getting exposure, whether you like it or not. And you're making yourself look like a jackass. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, one more thing that has to do with that as well is like people just like randomly talking shit behind the screen. So like unlike in Destiny, I've met people that have like talked shit to me, and like I show up to an event just like playing the game, and they'll look at me and not say a word. Like they like I'm not saying like I'm not gonna like fight them or anything. I mean, not at the venue, but
not
like
at the venue. Hey, we'll see you at the hotel though.
Yeah, like sign a contract and we'll have a friendly boxing match, But like I've met people that just talk shit behind the screen, and when they meet you, they have like nothing to say or nothing but nice things to say. And it's like people are so fake, and like also like a lot of people are so stupid. It's like, why would I care? It's the gas station theory, bro. It's I don't know who made this up.
Sorry, my daughter.
No, good.
If you don't mind, just like 2 minutes, I'm gonna go grab her a peach.
Yeah, sure.
I appreciate you. I'm right back, Joey.
No, I got dead again. This game stinks.
Sorry about that, bud.
No, okay, bro. It's your kid, bro. It's more important.
Yeah, she needed some peaches, bro. So I had to go grab them. And so I just like take the whole bag. I said, "Here, go, you and your sister go eat these. Take all of them." All right. We're gonna move on to my next question, and kind of like a fun one. If you could describe the One Piece trading card game community in one word, what would it be and why?
Oh man, in one word?
Try your best. If not, dude, just throw a dart at a board.
I'm gonna be nice and say I'm gonna be nice and say what's the word for this?
Unique.
I would say like a one word for like hot and cold. I'm trying to I'm thinking of the word, but I can't. It doesn't come to mind. Fluctuating.
Okay.
It's very fluctuating community for sure. And what I mean by that is we have some really cool people in this, and we have some bitch ass, soy ass people in this game, bro. Like,
I couldn't agree more, bro.
I've never met cooler people like in my life than playing this game, but I've also met some just like beta ass
Yeah, because Evie ate one already.
Get some peaches, bro.
Split one. This is my other now. She's about to be 6, and she's pissed. There's 3 peaches instead of 4, and she says, "Why is one missing?" Sorry.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, like there's some really cool people in the community, and there's some just like bitch ass people in this community, bro.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And that's just me being nice, bro. Straight up, like.
All right, my last question before we move on to kind of.
Wait! I want to hear you. What do you have to say? What would you describe it as?
Describe as the trading card community. I would say interesting. Like it was definitely. When I went to my first regionals in Peoria, and one of my buddies wanted to come with me, or like he wanted to carpool up, and I told him you can stay in my room. Like so, every one of the guys from the locals, and he's also in the army, so like picked him up from post. We went there, and when he was like talking about Kobe the whole time, like he's a huge Kobe fan. He loves him. He can't wait for the deck to come out. Like I already know he's gonna like fully alt it, but what I didn't realize is that like what he was telling me was what he was cosplaying the next day, and when we were getting ready, I'm like changing or whatever, and he comes out and he has the fucking jacket, he has a pink wig, he has the headband, and I was like, he was like, he looked like no homo, bro. He looked good. He looked like just like the character, bro. But he's also like super big in the cosplay community, anyways. Like he's also pretty well known.
Yeah.
He won like cosplay contest where he was cosplayed as Zoro, and Kaizuku cards actually made him into a card. Like he put him on a Zoro leader card. Yeah, so
that's absolutely sick, dude.
It's pretty cool. But I would definitely say interesting, especially like going from like the army. And then I kind of like threw myself right into TCGs. It's like completely different cultures. It's like you have to be careful how you talk to people, and before I literally was working with killers, like you know what I'm saying.
The people that you talk to in the army are like not politically correct at all. Like you call each other like names all the time. You like bully each other.
Yeah.
You know, like.
But it's terms of endearment, dude.
Yeah, terms of endearment. And also, like, the people in the army are, like, getting drunk all the time, fucking, whatever it is, like, fighting. And the TCG community is just, like, it takes you for a fucking loop, bro. This is, like, my first time, like, really, like, doing that as well. Like, I also went through that, because I obviously was in the army, too, but, yeah, dude, like, just going from the army mentality to going to this mentality is definitely...
It's a huge culture shock, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So my last question about like community slash interaction. Before we kind of go into like, I'm gonna ask about some card sets. Um, but my last question would be, what's your most memorable interaction with a fan or like a follower?
Oh my God, there's too many to say one. Um, I can't say one in particular, but I'll say that I mean just like meeting the people in our Discord in real life has
Yeah.
been like great. You know, just even for example, Drew, Doctor, the guy that you had on the
Doctor
podcast,
Uwu.
your first podcast. I coached him. He's been like a great friend of mine, you know, since I started coaching him. He's been like so cool. Like even when we first started doing coaching, we were like going on these like off topic tangents, and like it was like, you know, forcing us into like overtime and shit like that. And obviously like I'm not gonna charge him for like overtime, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we just became like friends like outside of like the game of One Piece. And like I'm actually gonna visit him in San Francisco in June next month, and we're gonna like hang out for like a weekend.
Hell yeah, dude.
I think it'd be
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool. Yeah, because I never been to San Francisco. But not even just that. I used to coach this guy. His name is David, and he was referred to me by like someone from Will the Wind's team. You know, like back in the day. And he was like, I have like 2 weeks to prepare for my first regional. I want to get a top cut with a rogue deck. Can you help me? And I was like, let's do it, bro. And he ended up, you know, after 2 weeks of coaching, getting top 64 at
That's
the
awesome.
regional I got my serial at, which was cool. And so like that's like all super rewarding. That's all really cool. But just like when you go to these events, and once you start getting like bigger in the YouTube space, which you will, I'm confident, like you'll see it. When you go to these events and like you like meet like just these like all these people, like, oh dude, I watch your videos, or you know, the people that beat me after watching my videos.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a cool. It's like cool like seeing like how much I have had like an impact on the people around me, and the like I have had an impact like in the people of this game, and I can like proudly call myself like a founding father of like the One Piece trading card game.
Oh
And
yeah. I would not argue
it
that.
really like it like comes up, and then you really like see it when you like hang around me at a regional, right? Like,
Yeah.
'cause you were with me
Yeah, One Piece
in
Day.
Dallas for One Piece Day.
Mhm.
I had, you know, a bunch of people like come up to me like, you know, yo, like what's up? And I just think that's like really cool, dude. Like all those people are just, I don't know. I really appreciate that, and not only that, I just think like a lot of people I met like at those tournaments are just super cool. You know,
Yeah.
I proudly call them my friends like outside of One Piece. So it's been a great way for me to like socialize, and you know, meeting these people has like really impacted like my mood, because I'm like blessed to be like so like well loved like by the people in this game, and it really just helps me out a lot.
Yeah, dude. And I'm happy to hear that because, you know, I know when I mean I can pop it up here. You know, I'm down in One Piece right now. Video. You know, we went from that. If you guys haven't watched it, bro, and you're feeling down on One Piece, go over to HeartPiratesTCG.
Nah,
Slap it down on One Piece, bro. Yeah.
I'm deleting it.
That's all right. I have the screenshot. It's like it's eternal. Um, but yeah, dude. Like when you go from that and kind of just seeing like your overall mood every day, and I think one thing that I really appreciate about you is that you take time to every time someone joins the Discord, and I've noticed this since I've got there. Every time someone joins the Discord, you go out of your way to, you know, hit the little hi button, and it may not like seem uh, like a big deal on the surface, but when you really like start dissecting that, that's actually a huge thing, especially with you being as big of a content creator as you are. Because I know you're almost at 10.5k now. I think you're at 10.4 last time I checked.
Yeah.
You know, don't fact check me, guys. I swear I know a little bit about Joey before
I think
we
it's
went into
something
this.
like that.
But yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're just about to crest 10k. So if you guys are watching us, go over there and follow him. Let's get him 10.5. But yeah, I think like your overall mood and like you actually going out of your way to do those things for people is like really awesome. You know, and like I said, it's just like a inviting thing for them as well. You know, like oh, this is the guy that runs this Discord, like or you know, like this is his Discord, and he's just taking the time out of his day to make sure he says, hi to all these people. He may not like physically typing it, but for you doing that, I think that's really, really big community-wise. And I think that's why you are attracting a lot more people now because of your positive mentality, and you'll be able to just like socialize people and not feel like you're a celebrity, because there are some motherfuckers in this community that think their shit don't stink, and I'll let the people to
I know who you're
think
talking about.
think
so,
about.
Yeah,
I know, but I'll let the people really
Can I
think about
respond to
that.
that just real quick, actually?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, I thought it was for me because I've done that since, I created the server. Not this server, but like I had another one I accidentally deleted. That's like a whole other story. But I've been doing it since I've started this game. Actually, is just like welcoming. Anytime like someone like joins the server, I'm just gonna hit the. It's one button. You like hit hi.
I know.
And
like I said,
guess,
on the surface,
for me, I never really thought of it as like a big deal. But I guess it is. It's just like I want people to know that like they are welcome like in the Discord server, and like anytime we're just like hanging out or like just like talking shit or whatever, saying whatever like in like any of the text channels or even in the voice channels. Like I don't know if you were here for this or not, but we had a couple of new guys join like the Discord server, and we were all like hanging out in the voice channel, and then some of them joined and were like talking, and then they like left for like a second. And I was like, hey, bro, we're just hanging out. Like, yeah, feel free to like stop in and just
because they put it in general. I remember because they were like, yeah, I just felt like I was like, I don't want to like intrude. Like, bro, like you're more than welcome to. And I think I replied to him honestly, or it could have been a different occasion, but there's been a couple times where it's just like, dude, like you're more than welcome here. Like that's why too.
This is our Discord. That's why like I never say like I usually never say like my Discord. I usually say our Discord. I like it's almost like a when I say my Discord, it's like a mistake. So I'm like, oh, like that's not really like a terminology I use because it really is not my Discord. It is our Discord, and I want everyone that joins there to like feel free to like type in the chat at any time, like what they're doing, like tournament results. Like I just went X2 with fucking. Whatever, right? I just won my first locals. I want people to feel free to like join the voice chat and like hang out with us because that's literally what the Discord's for. It's like bringing everyone together and like having a good time. So yeah, like I didn't think that I didn't cross my mind that like me doing that was like inviting in that way. But yeah, like it makes a lot of sense for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I was able to point that out for you because I really do think it's important. So moving on a little bit here. Just like 3 questions, but I want to kind of talk about like card sets. So we're about to go into EBO2, so obviously you can't count EBO2. But what do you think your favorite set to play in has been so far?
I personally I know people hate this set, but I really liked set 5. I thought set 5 was like the first time that like skill was like actually rewarded in this game.
Yeah.
Like every other set just had like these like broken decks or like super like the only decks that existed were like the only decks that got support. So for example, Whitebeard, Law, and Zoro.
Yeah.
But like Law required skill, but like sometimes you just got like clapped by just Moby Dick Whitebeard, right?
Yeah.
Or Zoro when they got Fire Fist and Vista, it was like really tough to like beat with Law. And set 5 was like the first time I played a deck where I was just having a really good time because I wasn't just getting like blown out by these like super broken decks. And it's probably because I was playing the broken deck, like I was playing Sakazuki. But not only that, but there was like other decks in the meta. There was still like Whitebeard was still good. Red Purple Luffy was like got top 4 at Nats.
Yeah, that's the deck I started with. Like right at that time period.
Yeah.
But I didn't know any better. I think I watched a Card Digazuku video and he did like an RP Luffy list, and I was like, oh, it's time to go to eBay, and that's when Whitebeard's like $15 a piece. I'm like, holy shit, my wife's gonna kill me for buying these. And then, then I went and maxed out in an L deck. So.
Yeah, you maxed out. My wife's gonna kill me if I buy these $15 new gates. Let me buy like the $60 new gates instead. If she's gonna kill me, at least let me be happy with her decision to kill me. Yeah, but yeah, and then there was like Purple Luffy, and there was an L too. So like I felt like it was like a healthy meta. And not only that, but like I felt like I was like the first time I was actually in charge of like my own destiny with the game. And because I am a competitive player, I just think that's just like more fun. You know, does that make sense? Like,
yeah, it does. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So that being said, and I'm trying to make sure I word this correctly. What do you think mechanically in our card game? Is there a mechanic that you think is overrated or underrated? Or do you have one for both categories? Do you think that there's one that's overrated and then there's a mechanic that's underrated?
There's not really a lot of like mechanics like in this game, but I will say like design philosophy, like mechanically, I think what is underrated about One Piece is the fact that it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you have like a battle phase, a standby phase, main phase 2, end phase, where like things have to happen. I really like how One Piece is just one big open game.
Yeah.
Where it's like your turn is your turn and you can sequence things however the fuck you want. And by doing that, it allows you to have like a high skill ceiling when it comes to like gathering information, what I was talking about earlier in the podcast, where it's like it is really fun to be able to dissect like why people are doing what they're doing, and then like literally like coming like I can tell what you're gonna do. If you're like, I can tell what you're gonna do like 96% of the time based on just like how you attack with your first character.
Yeah.
And like I think that's like really fun. So and the only reason you can do that is because of the one big open game state type of play that One Piece has. So I think that's like an underrated mechanic that people don't like appreciate enough. Is that like this game is very free flowing and like open, and that's really fun and really interesting because it makes for a lot of interesting like decisions and play lines, which I really love.
Yeah.
In terms of like a mechanic that's overrated, I think triggers are overrated. Like I think maybe not like some of them are it's like relying like decks that rely on triggers. I think they're overrated. I think they'll never be good. But I'm only saying that because there's not a lot of like mechanics in this game.
Right. I understand.
Trigger's one of the few ones, you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. I kind of figured that was gonna be the answer because even me is like playing it now and now like moving over, and I've been this set, dude. I've literally just been diving in all kinds of decks, and like if you look at my TikTok, there's like 400. There's just like 400 different deck lists of things that I've played. Like obviously I played Zoro at that Sword Championship and got my Nats invite. But I played Zoro. Like I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to validate myself.
All the people that I coached actually got their Nats invites in the same store regional. That was so cool.
Oh yeah, me and the guy I lost to, Nanagu. Yeah, he's a really cool dude. It's really funny that we played each other. I had no idea that he was in the Discord.
Yeah, so cool. I like that guy a lot.
Yeah, he was really down to earth. Shoot, I totally threw myself off there.
No, that's on me, my bad.
No, you're good. I guess you can only get blown up so many times, right? Until you start losing your marbles.
Three's the limit.
Oh, I guess I'll just move on since I lost my train of thought. Is there a character or like a overpowered character that you would like to see as a leader or like a card in the future? And if there is, who would it be? And what do you think you would want that card to kind of look like? Could be a leader, could be a character card, event card, whatever.
Can you clarify that? Like, what do you mean? Like, is there like a type of leader that I want, or a character that isn't a leader that I want to be a leader?
Okay, yeah. Let's say, is there a character that's not a leader yet that you would like to see in the future as a leader?
Yeah, so I think this is a pretty common one. Actually, so Brooke is my second favorite Straw Hat.
Hey, dude.
So Brooke doesn't have a leader yet. I would love for Brooke to be a leader. Not only that, but I think Brooke's leader effect would have something to do with like trash recursion, which I think is like one of my favorite concepts for games. I think any like when I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, I loved like Light Sworns or like Chaos Dragons and like shit like that. I think that's a really cool concept. So if Brooke came out, I would assume he would have something to do with like bringing himself back from the dead.
Yeah,
so I think like Brooke would work in both aspects. Like he doesn't have a leader, and I think that type of leader would be really fucking cool because that's another like resource management type of deck that would just be like really fun to kind of to play. So yeah, I definitely think Brooke should definitely be a leader. 100%. Yeah, Brooke would 100% guarantee be the leader I would choose.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that too. Like I always like, dude, if we get a Brook leader, it has to be like black and yellow. I think like, so it has to be. I think he'll end up being multicolored, but I don't know.
He probably will. Yeah.
We'll see. If not, he'll have to be like.
That's why you choose Brooke.
I would definitely choose Brooke, dude. Like I think Brooke is so funny. He's one of my favorite characters. Like
he's so cool, bro. If it wasn't for Zoro, he would be the best Straw Hat.
Yeah, nah, Zoro's too. Zoro reminds me of like he's like ride or die, like through and through. He is, yeah. And I think that's probably why I like playing the deck now too. That and like going from like control where the game stays like super slow to now just like, oh, you mean I just like play things and I just beat the shit out of you, and if you can't answer these bodies, I win. Like, it's fun.
I'm sorry to interrupt you real quick. Is
No,
that
you're
a
good.
Turbo Man action figure in the background?
That is just like I said in the last video. That is indeed a Turbo Man that I got a couple Christmases ago.
That movie, bro.
That is one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's not I'll Be Home for Christmas, is it? It's
no, Jingle All the Way. Wait, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Jingle All the Way, yeah. With Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's trying to get Turbo Man for his son.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's really cool.
Oh, it's one
I
of my.
didn't catch that in the last video.
I love
Turbo Man.
That's one of my favorite gifts ever. I don't know how the fuck my wife. She like every year she says, "Hey, send me a Christmas list," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll like put like some things like video games. I like play video games, or now it's like shiny cardboard." But I like this year I had put like Turbo Man, right? Like as a complete joke. And one of the first gifts I opened was Jingle All the Way, like the DVD. I'm like, oh, awesome! I fucking love this movie. Yeah. And then she's like, all right, here's this box. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm all thanks a box, you know, like perfect dad joke. That's what I do every Christmas. Yeah. I am like your white suburban dad on Christmas. I got like my man Uggs on. I got the trash bags prepped, you know, like as soon as the paper touches the ground, I'm like there and I got it. You know, I open my gifts last because I got to make sure I get all of the paper. But I opened this box, dude, and I pulled it out and I was like, whoa, Turbo Man? What? I was like, how the fuck did you get this? Didn't think they like actually made Turbo Mans. And apparently you can get the whole set. Like that's like life goal now. It's like to get Booster, but like, which was like the only one that was available like in the movie, you know. But yeah, I can talk. I love that fucking
awesome,
movie. It's
so
good.
I gotta get one of those.
All right, so let's go into some like personal and fun questions. We're just about done. I think I got like maybe 10 questions left.
Okay.
But I want to talk about like some personal fun questions. So if you created your own TCG, whether it be with like a current anime IP or something that you just completely make up yourself, what do you think it would be?
That is a really funny question because no one knows this except for like maybe one person. But I had a idea for this card game like when I was like 10 years ago called Game Nights, but with a K. And basically like the card game would have to do with like IPs, kind of like Union Arena, but like for like a bunch of like word games. So for example, you'd have like Monopoly and Risk and like all this like Settlers of Catan and shit like that. And what you would do is you would like have playstyles that have to do with like the identity of that game. So like the Monopoly deck would have to do with like buying shit, right? And like using like capitalism to like win the game, right?
Yeah.
And then like you know the Risk archetype would be like just like actual like beating the fuck out of like your opponent. I don't know how like it would actually work in terms of like profitability or even mechanics wise, but like that would be a really fun idea where it's whatever your favorite board game is, like Betrayal on the Haunted House of the Hill, where you just like you are summoning demons to like haunt your opponent. Like I don't know. However that shit would
thought
work,
process is awesome.
So fun.
It does.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
Like imagine getting your dick beat in by the fucking Monopoly guy. Like what's up, bro?
Yeah. Imagine them like buying you to like win the game. Like you're
that'd be
slave. Like it is indentured servant, you like lose the game. That would be awesome, bro. Like that would be so funny.
That would be, bro.
It'd be like bro, like if I played that leader, I'd be like, if I played the Monopoly leader, I'd, like right before I win the game, I'd be like, beg me not to buy you right now, bro. Beg me not to buy you right now.
Oh shit, that's so funny. All right, that leads me to my next question. Well, it's similar to what we talked about. Like, if you were to create a powerful card or whatever, like if Bandai said, "Hey, Joey, I want you to give us a concept for a leader," like, what do you think the leader effect would be?
I mean, honestly, like any type of like deck that plays like Law, whether it be red green Law, yellow green Law, would be something I would choose. Some type of leader with a very high skill ceiling that has a very low floor as well. So, for example, like it would be some type of leader where you had to manage like cards in hand as well as like cards on board. So, for example, your leader would only work is if you had a certain amount of cards in hand, and then you had to have a certain, you had to like sequence like your attacks correctly. So almost like how Restand Law can restand a 5-cost Supernova and then like attack again.
Yeah.
I would have a deck kind of like that, whereas like if you have like 7 cards in hand or more, you can tap 1 Dawn and like restand a character, and that way you'd have to balance between like playing around pudding and then like also like taking life. Because if you take life, you enable your leader effect, but if you don't take life, if you take too much life, then you're just going to die really quickly.
Yeah.
But if you take life, then you can kill your opponent quickly and like manage the board by like double swinging. So I think like a leader like that would be like really cool, where you had to like manage sequencing and resources to be able to win the game. I think that would be really cool. That's actually a really cool question.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It kind of like your idea kind of sounds like the Zoro leader that we're getting.
Yeah, but like that leader's ass.
3 Don 3. Oh god, yeah, it just. I'm sure
like,
there's gonna be
3 Don, bro. There's no way, bro.
I don't know, bro. There's gonna be someone out there that like figures it out, and then everyone's gonna be fucking.
It's gonna be like Usopp, bro. Like people are gonna think it's like they're gonna have like 2 people top with it, and they're gonna be like, oh shit, this deck is broken. Like it's not.
All right. So like, if we're in a big tournament, right, and like you're like about to go play someone, what is like your dream matchup? We know you play Dofi, but like, let's say, hey, I gotta win this next match. I hope it's this deck or this matchup. Like, guarantee that Blackbeard. I get into like Blackbeard.
Blackbeard. Yeah.
What makes Blackbeard so free for you?
I mean, I play Dofi.
Yeah, that's fair.
So the thing about Blackbeard, the reason it's such a bad matchup is because if they don't use their leader effect starting from turn 1, then like they're like Dofi pluses so much by just playing cards off the top of their deck that eventually like they either like are late to turn off our leader effect, which means if they're late, we plus a bunch of cards off of Perona and Sengoku, and also we can bounce back their cards that they play, like Burgess. And if they use their leader effect from turn 1, they have to balance like taking life. Like they have to counter like discarding cards to like not go down super low, and then also discarding cards for leader effect every turn. So they're basically draining 2 cards from their hand every turn, while also trying to like combat board, while also trying to build their own board in the process. Yeah. So the thing is, like, if you solely try to combat board with Teach, then you're basically gonna like black hole and then liberation again and shit like that, which is like not like an awful strategy, but you're like developing no kill pressure basically.
Right.
And if you're developing no kill pressure, I can just like, if you have no life and you just keep dropping teaches, I'm gonna go like 15 at leader with my leader and like force you to block with teach and then just like die, because like you're just gonna keep playing teach over and over again until you just like don't have any teaches anymore. I'm gonna go like 15 at life and you block with teach, 15 at life you block with teach. And you're going to get to that point because you have no cards in hand where you just can't kill me before I can kill you. And that's what makes Blackbeard so free for Dofi. The only way they can win that game is if they trigger like double finger pistol out of life at like important times.
100%. Yeah. That card literally swings games so much. I can't even count how many times I played on Sim, and it's like, I'm like, oh, all I have to do is like them not hit a finger pistol here and I win the game. And then it's like finger pistol and I'm like, cool. Now I want to take my computer and fucking smash it on the ground.
Yeah. Funny story. In the Treasure Cup I just played in, I played against one of my homies, Friendly Fire, unfortunately. Like round 5, he was on Blackbeard. And first life, he triggered Finger Pistol, and he popped my Weevil. And then his like third life, he triggered the I bid 500 million berries.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he still lost too, which is crazy. Like that's how favored Dopey is into Blackbeard. Like you can double trigger, you can like double trigger and still like lose the game. Like it's just wild.
Dude, that's pretty insane, bro.
No, it's gross.
So all right, so you said Treasure Cup. Did you end up dropping out of the regional and just jumping into the Treasure Cup? Okay, that's what I remember you talking about it.
4 rounds. I was 2-2. I got like super mega high roll by a Zoro player, and then I lost to the Lim player that I told you about. Bro, that Zoro opened up double shut up and come with us. He's like,
oh, okay, yeah.
He like actually just destroyed me. Like it was like, bro, like, and my first Perona was the card I played was a 2K Croc. Like it was just over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ended up killing me before I hit 8 Dawn. Like it was like insane.
Bro, that's one of my favorite things with Zoro.
Yeah, I went 2-2 in the regional, and I was like, I could stick in and try to get like top 32, or you know, I gave my opponent the win round 1 in the Treasure Cup because I was gonna stick in the regional when I was 2-1.
Yeah.
And so I gave him the win round 1, and then I lost my game 4. So I was like, you know what? I'm 0-1 in the Treasure Cup. I'm 2-2 in the regional. I'm just gonna drop in the regional, play in the Treasure Cup, and see what happens. And I just won. I won every game after that. So I finished 7th. Yeah.
What does the pricing look like for that? Is it the?
It's the law, the top 8 law.
Oh yeah.
The top 16 pudding, and then no, is it pudding? It's either like pudding or
the 3-drop pudding, right? That
I think so. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the 3-drop pudding, and then it's the Laboon for top 64.
Oh, the Laboon. I love the alt art Laboon. Like dude, it's funny. I got that alt art for my wife because my wife doesn't really like anime at all. So
yeah, she sounds cool though. She gets good gifts.
Oh, she does, dude. She gives the best gifts actually. Like shout out to my wife. Like right here, favorite movie of all time. It's my water cup.
You like the Grinch? I hated the Grinch.
I fucking love the Grinch, dude. It's like one of my favorite movies ever, dude. I don't know why.
I like the memes from the Grinch though.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones, dude. But yeah, she does give some fucking awesome gifts.
Shout out to wife.
Shout out to my wife, Shelby Welby.
Shelby.
So just a little bit about I've actually called her that for so long. Like I've called her so many different names.
That's a good name. I like that.
Yeah. Outside of TCG life, or outside of being Mr. Heart Pirates, aka Mr. Serial, Mr. 500 top 8s, you know, what does Joey like to do for fun outside of playing card games and making content, of course?
Yeah, dude, I'm a pretty diverse guy. Like I said, I make content and all that. I play in One Piece regionals and shit. But other than that, I really I'm a big board game fan. So I love Sheriff of Nottingham. You know, I used to play this game with my friends called it was Town of Salem, but in real life, where it's called Mafia, where you try to guess who is in the mafia and slowly kill them off, kind of like Among Us, right? It's
oh
Among
yeah,
Us,
that's
but,
cool.
Before Among Us came out. Yeah, so that was fun. Hanging out with friends. I'm a big sports guy too, so I love playing basketball. I haven't played as much recently because I'm I live in Vegas, so there's not a lot of indoor courts that you can play at.
Yeah.
And it's been super windy. It's super windy in Vegas, so it's kind of hard to play outside.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I love sports. I used to play a lot of Ultimate Frisbee back in the day too with my youth group in church camp. We were raw as fuck at Ultimate Frisbee, by the way. That shit was so fun. I like hiking. I'm also I'm writing a book as well called Euphoric and then A Dying World, and it's about it's a mix between Avatar: The Last Airbender, Cyberpunk 2077, and then V for Vendetta. So I kind of took inspiration from all 3 of those and kind of put it together. And so I'm writing a book. I'm on chapter 9 right now, which is pretty fun. I like hanging out with my dog. Karaoke's a lot of fun. So yeah, I kind of do it all, man. I like to work out, you know. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, disclaimer for the people that are watching this: Joey is not 5'8".
Oh yeah.
A lot of people, maybe it's just like the way you sit in the chair. People think you're shorter than you are. Because even when I first started like watching your videos, when I first started watching your videos, like I never think that I'm like gonna meet y'all, right? Which I think is kind of cool to how this is like a full circle moment where like I kind of got inspiration from guys like you, just to kind of just put stuff up, and because the worst thing that can happen is it gets no views, but you posted it, right? And that's kind of the mentality I've had, like.
Also, as long as you're having fun too,
Yeah, and I never want it to be where I don't enjoy it, because if I'm just like forcing myself to do it, then I'm not being 100% organic, and I just feel like that looks like shit. Because there's way too many fake people in the world, and I didn't.
I fell into that trap too, so I totally get you.
I didn't grow up in that kind of like fake culture. It's like, and especially being from New England, like if you got a problem with someone, you just say like, I don't fuck with you, So,
get out of here.
Yeah, I'm walking here. Get out of here, jackass, right? but yeah, dude, like I just want to be like organic as far as that goes.
I respect that completely, bro. I really do.
Yeah, and I'll always be that way. Like I'll be straight up. I don't like kissing ass, and I'm kind of happy that I'm out of the army now. Like, it's bittersweet. I miss like doing what I did.
Boys club.
Yeah, bro. Especially in the 160th, it's very bad. Like, it's very political. It's if I don't have a it's ACFT now or whatever the hell.
Yeah,
they do like all kind. If you don't have like a high PT score and you're not like super tied in, now there's exceptions. Like I have a lot of friends that aren't kiss asses and suck cock, to get promoted or get in positions that they're in. They're just good at their job.
It's
but
way harder though.
Yeah, but there's a lot of fucking jabronis that are in positions that they shouldn't be in. Yeah. It's neither here nor there.
It was like that with my unit too. I'm not sure like what it was like in your unit, but yeah, it was like that too. Like people would just like suck like the platoon sergeant's dick, like maybe literally, but mainly like metaphorically. And they would like be put in like these like they'd just be put in these like positions that like they like do like no work and like their job is just like fucking cush. Like you get put in these like fucking supply roles where like they show up at like 6:30 in the morning, check to see if the fucking door's locked, and then go back to bed. Like shit like that, bro. Like people get like the cushiest ass jobs for like just being like kiss asses, and I don't know. I fucking hate that shit, bro.
Yeah. I'll never be that, bro. And like if I ever catch myself like falling into that during this process, like I said, I'm still like in like the very juvenile process of me like growing and making content and trying to like you kind of said, like finding myself in this social space. I just like I'm more of like a funny guy, and I'm kind of like you in the aspect of like being cerebral, but I love talking to people, so that's why I'm really excited about doing this, like where I can just like I mean we're almost at 2 hours, but it doesn't even feel that long.
Like this is like my favorite podcast I've ever done, like or I guess interview style podcast for sure. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, and like I said, like I'm like I told Drew, I'm super excited to see where like this moves in the future, and I'm sure I'd love to have you again on here. I'm wrapping up right now. I got about 5 questions left.
Can you come with me to the bathroom?
Yeah. Why don't you go in the bathroom and then you tell me when you're done, okay? No. Okay. 1 minute, Joey. Sorry.
Alright, take your time, bro.
So why didn't I flinch? Because the laws of science differ fundamentally from those of...
I'll be there in a minute. Alright, I'm back, buddy. Sorry.
Oh, no, all good.
Alright. Sorry, I got it. She has to pee, so... then I had to put her in a pajama shirt. Alright, so one of the last little...
It's like 4 p.m. over there, isn't it?
That's almost 5, man. It's...
Yeah,
she just likes to... So my youngest likes to just like kind of chill. They like to watch YouTube videos. They think it's hilarious. Like sometimes when I want to rewatch some of my stuff, because I give my phone up all the time. Like was it the generators like iPad kids, right? That I'm raising. Judge me if you want. You guys can suck my dick if you don't like it. Anyway, like I'll put my videos on the TV, like so I can rewatch them. because it's like watching game film.
I do the same shit.
I like to watch my
good.
shit. I like to watch my shit.
Yeah.
Like one thing that I've been like really conscious about this podcast is I realized how many times I said when I was did my interview with Drew. So I've been like super conscious of trying not to say a million times because I don't want to sound like completely retarded.
It's funny that you say that because I still try. I'm so self-conscious of me saying like. I say like a billion times, and I'm trying so hard not to say it so much. And sometimes I'm really learning now to slow myself talking down because when I start talking really fast, I say like a billion times. So I'm trying not to say it. So that's funny you bring that up. But also, I didn't. When I listened to you and Drew's podcast, I didn't hear you say it a million times. At least it didn't register for me.
Well, yeah, but you know we are our own worst critics. So obviously, I'm gonna see things that I don't like, and I want to, developmentally, it's gonna happen over time, just like with anything.
Yeah.
Like when I flew, I never thought I'd be an SI. I didn't even think I'd make FE, and then next thing you know, I was the SI of the schoolhouse. So, like these things happen, and they happen quick. So you just have to be mindful of what you're doing, and then it's just like getting better as a player, right? If you notice like the little nuances that you do that just aren't good. Like perfect example was I think it might have been Swag, where he at One Piece Day where he searched when he's playing Teach, he searched for a Teach, and he grabbed an SP Teach, and on Tendon he played he played a Teach, but it was a different art, and because he did that, he lost the game.
Yeah.
So
because now he knew that he had one brick in hand.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And
that's funny.
I'm pretty sure I played Swag in the Chopper tournament, and that's how I beat him. Because I remembered how much he searched. So I knew that he didn't have the counter, even though he had one Teach blocker and I had 2 attacks. I knew that he didn't have the counter to get out of him. So.
Yeah. Good. Getting better.
Yeah, I'm trying. So last personal fun question for you is there any creators that you look up to? Once again, because I think I know you pretty well at this point for the few months that we've gotten to know each other. I think I have a good idea who it is, but if there is a content creator that you look up to, who is it and why?
I'm only saying, okay. I only watch my friends that are content creators. So like I watch your videos. I watch obviously VV Theory, Small Hat Crew. I'll watch what is his name? God, I can't think of his name. He plays RP Luffy. Kane.
Kane. Gear 5 Productions.
Yeah, Kane. I'll watch his. And like Kuro TCG is a friend of mine. I'll watch people like that.
Yeah.
I look up to all of y'all in different like aspects. Like I think like this has been like a great like you've asked like a lot of really cool questions. VV Theory for his like consistency. This guy Min Hootie, who he's like newer to the scene, but his quality is just like insane. I'm trying to like get to that level. So like each of you guys like motivate me in different ways and give me like good ideas or like give me good inspiration. Other than that though, I don't watch like any other like One Piece content because a lot of people I don't necessarily like their I don't either like them like personally or I don't like the type of content they put out. Or even if they put out the content I like to watch, sometimes they'll play against like really bad players and I don't like learn anything. So it's like I don't know. I don't really watch like a whole lot of YouTubers, but you guys all like all my friends that I watch. I watch you guys for like different reasons,
Yeah, no, I get that because you can always learn something from anyone. Like you can even learn stuff from new people, and I think once people like really grasp that concept that just because someone's new doesn't mean you can't pick their brain, and you really have to humble yourself like when you're at a high level. Like I said, I keep referencing back to the Army because that's like my roots, and I did that for most of my adult life. This was the longest, like, I think the longest I've not been in the Army since I've been 18. You know, I've been in the Army since 2012, and I retired in January. Yeah, like
all your parables are like anecdotally or just military
it made me who I am now, and I didn't realize how much of my identity was in that until I got out. But yeah, like you don't realize that you have to sometimes take a step back and humble yourself and realize that just because you're at the top doesn't mean that someone below you doesn't have a better idea or a more efficient plan than you do, right? And you can carry that into the One Piece card game, because one of these guys could just start the game and they could be doing something and you're like, but why are you doing that? And then when they break it down to you, you're like, oh, that's actually a good idea. Like, I never. That's not something I thought about.
Multiple times.
Yeah, and
I remember like I'll coach someone and they'll have like a wacky ass idea, but they apply it wrong. But I'm like, that's a really good idea, but like don't do it in this situation. You know, like and same thing with like new content creators, bro. I'm like, I got a long way to go to like where I am, where I want to be as like a content creator.
Yeah.
And I'll look at all these other like content creators like making these videos, and I'm like, oh, their quality's so good, or these questions that they're asking are so good, or their tonality is great, or you know, their lighting is fantastic, or whatever it is. Like they're you know, I don't know. They don't say like a million times like I do. And yeah, dude, you know, there's so much you can learn from other people, and I learned this a long time ago, where it's like, it's okay. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's okay to be like cocky or like confident in your ability, as long as you can back it up. But like, it's never okay to be like overly cocky, like overly arrogant, because there is no person in this world that is a 100% full-blown expert on every single topic in whatever they specialize in. Myself personally, I am awesome at One Piece. I'm just like, I just am.
Yeah.
But there's still things I do wrong every time. Like every game, there's still like, oh, okay, I missequenced this, or you know, I didn't like check for this information right here. Like, there's so much shit you can do better. Like, you gotta like put that to the side, you know?
Yeah,
like,
you gotta take the pride sometimes and just put it to the side and realize that, you know, you don't know everything, even if like the best of the best players. You know, I mean, I hate to like call him out, but Jonas, you know, he's a high level player. He's represented us at Worlds, and the dude went into a regional, did 8 rounds with 5 copies of My New Era. You know, like
that was the second time he did that too. And personally, like I said this during my stream, but I like Jonas, but like that is a mistake you can't make multiple times.
Yeah,
like,
no.
You can't do that.
It's especially when you're playing at the high level, you can't say I accidentally cheated. You know, and maybe that's a controversial thing to say, but I've never accidentally cheated in my entire life. When I was going through assessment to get into the 160th, I didn't accidentally cheat in land nav because I was lost. I cheated because I wanted to keep going. And the instructors told me, if you're, you know, like their whole thing was like, they're all retired SF guys. I'm like, if you're not cheating, you're not SF. And I'm like, cool, I'm talking to every swinging dick I see out in the fucking land nav thing because I couldn't find my way out of a wet paper bag. So, it didn't matter.
Well, I'll tell you this too, bro. Like to bring that up, I've played at a ton of tournaments now, and the only times I can think of where I accidentally, like where I had accidentally cheated, have been so small. Like one of them was like set 5 with Sakazuki. Like those games last like forever. And one of the turns, like I was like thinking for a while because like I was in a really weird spot, and I accidentally cycled with my leader twice. Yeah. And I didn't know it until like way after the game like already ended. You know, because like my stream told me, but I wasn't watching my chat obviously.
Yeah.
So, like that, I was like, if I did that, then like fuck, then I'm sorry. Like I didn't mean to do that, but like technically I did cheat, but like I didn't mean to. You know, like, it's not like my thing. And the second time was like when I was on stream for Virginia Beach, where I accidentally played the Teach, but like it took it back. It got taken back like immediately. So it's like. In all of the games that I've played, like I have only realistically like cheated like that actually mattered once, and I didn't know it until like way after, and I felt like really bad about it. Like you can't have like something like that happen like multiple times in the same issue, like basically in a row, 2 turns in a row. So I see what you're saying, bro.
Yeah,
like, I play with like 100% integrity.
Yeah, you have to, because as soon as if you don't, you're just gonna do a disservice to yourself, because you're gonna just get blackballed in community anyway, right? Like, especially someone with as big as a platform as you have. Like, if you didn't like address like allegations immediately and explain things. Or if there's one thing I used to say all the time is you could make one mistake one time, but if you make the same mistake twice, right, it starts to become a habit. And that's what I ingrained in my new guys when I was training them on the airplane. Hey, mistakes are okay, but what you need to realize is the same mistake twice is what kills people, and we can't have that.
Yeah.
It's a snowball effect because you're gonna start creating bad habits for yourself. So
yeah, same thing with coaching. Is I told everyone, like, this mistake might have not killed you this time, but if you make the mistake again against a better player, they're gonna kill you. Like it's gonna be the difference between you winning and losing. So yeah,
100%. Yeah. So before we wrap this up, just for the people, I want to just get a little snapshot of looking forward. What the future looks like for Heart Pirates TCG. That being said, where do you see Heart Pirates TCG in, let's say, 1 to 2 years from now?
Great question, man. I'm so excited for the future of this channel. So my goal now is to finish like cleaning up the website for moonlighttcg.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to use the profits I make from the website to not only increase like my production quality, like my mic I feel like is great, but obviously I'm sure there's like better mics I can get, better lighting.
100%.
Obviously my background,
Background's it's too iconic. You can't change it, dude.
Yeah, I still want to clean it up though. I have like good ideas on like what I want to clean up.
No, it's a good idea.
I want to have I want to start doing like consistent tournaments, like I said, like weekly local tournaments.
Yeah.
And obviously I want to have as many people in them as possible so we can have like the best pricing possible.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe have like sponsors in there as well to sponsor events so we can give you guys extra money or extra prize cards or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically the future of my channel is very closely tied to moonlighttcg.com because I want to make sure that I'm playing with like the best like products as possible. So for example, like a really cool like play mat. Like I want to make sure like I feel good. There's some like when you feel good playing a game, you just like play better for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm playing with like a really nice play mat or like new sleeves, I just like play better. So I really like that. That's like really important to me. So I want to make sure that like I stay providing value to the community through videos, increasing production quality, increasing obviously like website quality, getting people discounts for like traveling to regionals, like really just like making people's lives better in this space. And all while doing that, I'm hoping to just like make videos that are fun to me, that are appealing to me, as well as like hopefully other people like them too, and all while like being authentic to myself and staying true to myself. So that's the goal, is make enough money to obviously support myself, to be able to keep doing this, increase the quality as much as I can over time, and then increase the the level of effectiveness of my website to help more people in the process along with videos. So good question.
Yeah, no, I really like that. I think that you're already making strides in the right direction. Like, one, not gatekeeping content. I think that's so important. Just as like I said, as a former instructor, I think gatekeeping information is just something that like old heads do. Like the guys that brought me up, they never wanted the person that they were, their superior of. It never felt sometimes that they wanted them to succeed more than them. If that makes sense. And maybe I'm wording that exactly incorrectly.
And that's an army mentality, is because you never want someone to take your job, but if you train someone to do a really good job, then you're gonna get promoted.
Yeah,
so
and
I
that's
know exactly what you're talking about.
And that was my thing. I never wanted to gatekeep any of the information I knew about the helicopter to myself, because at the end of the day, I already knew that like in the Army you're extremely expendable, and I really learned that when I was getting med retired. That like once you realize how expendable you are, it's so important that you're passing the information on to the youth the youth of the nation, essentially, right? I never want to keep information gate kept for my kids.
Definitely.
Like you just, I think it's so important to be open, and I do understand that like some of these guys are trying to make a living from this, right? And I respect the hustle. I'll never knock the hustle because I came from nothing, so I know what it's like. But I think what you're doing for the community is really, really good. The masterclass Mondays, and they're informative and they're funny. Like, I think it was it could have been like maybe 4 videos ago where you're like, hey, it's Professor Joey, and you have like some glasses and like a button up on. Like, I thought that was hilarious. Nah, dude, it was so funny, and it's like super unique, and that it's super engaging for the audience to see that. So I think that's super important, and I think that the sky's the limit for you and your channel, like, moving forward. I really do, and that's not me.
Can I add just one quick
Yeah,
thing to
absolutely.
that?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. No, I totally understand like people needing to gatekeep their content. I'm not gonna lie, like I am taking a massive risk, putting everything out for free because obviously with someone like with someone with my accolades, people are selling that on Patreon for, $30 an article or $10 a month for 400 people. That's a lot of money, right? I mean, at least to someone like me.
No, I
get
get
as
it.
well. So like, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying this out. I'm trying this out to like move in the right direction because I think it'll pay off. Like, me putting everything out for free. But obviously, like, if things don't work out, like if because how I make money now is like coaching as well as like Moonlight TCG and like YouTube ad revenue. Like if that isn't enough to like pay the bills, which is like a very shitty thing to say, I will have to go back to like gatekeeping content. But I'm like trusting in the community to make sure that like not like they see this for what it is. It's like I am providing a ton of value for you guys, and I'm hoping like you guys, when you do decide like you need a new playmat, or when you do decide you need new sleeves, like you come my way,
Yeah.
So like I totally get the reason like people would gatekeep content because I was making more money when I was like doing Patreon.
Right.
But I think this is a better way of doing it because it's just better for the community, and I'm just trusting in the community, and I'm hoping like God, is gonna help me out in that way too, and people see that. So yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, honestly, I was gonna say that too. Like, it's obviously a higher power that's calling you to do something. Whether you believe in it or not. If you believe in the flying spaghetti monster, it is what it is. Like, I don't care. I'm just saying, like, there's whatever that you believe in. In our case, it's God. Like, it could be Him. Talking about it. Like, literally today in the service, the preacher was talking about how God was guiding him down the path into becoming a preacher, right? And it could be the same situation for you where He's guiding you to like, hey, like, let's show the people like how smart you are and how good you are at dissecting gameplay and all of these things, right? And that's the path that He's leading you on, and there's nothing you can do
maybe
to
I can
deter
impact people's lives that way.
100%.
And in return, like they can impact my life by like helping me, create a living by also giving them like a nice product in return. I think it's like a win-win. So
it's a good trade-off, dude. Like, if you're gonna do full-time content, right, you have to make your ends meet too. I already know personally, like, as soon as I'm done getting all the cards I need to make GP Luffy, like, I'm sprinting over to Moonlight TCG and I'm picking up those Nami sleeves. I think they're just too fire, bro.
I appreciate
like
that.
they're just so they are sick. Like, I'm like, there's no secrets here. If anyone's been in the Discord and they're watching this, they know that old Heart Pirates is a bit of a gooner. So like, we got the Perona sleeves. Goth mommy, that's not my thing, but
Hey, carrots next on the chopping
carrots.
block,
Yeah, I was
bro.
gonna say carrots probably
Carrots
next.
next on the chopping block.
That
bro.
being said, like, Zach, you better start saving your lunch money now, because you probably have 10 orders of fucking carrot sleeves coming your way just for all. He's gonna be like, hey Pete, can I send them to your house? Like, I'm gonna get a fucking thing this big full of carrot sleeves.
Hey, it's gonna be like a sexy like Lunarian fucking carrot where she's like, or not a Lunarian, the fucking form where she takes. Is it Lunarian?
I think it is something
No,
like that. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's
It's like I can't think of the name right now.
Yeah, bro.
Where she
It's
like
like
fucking awakens.
Yeah, it's like completely eluding me.
Mommy carrot. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
A couple more questions before we wrap it up. You kind of talked about it a little bit, but I'm curious what your goals are like moving forward, both as a player and a content creator. Which like you kind of already hit like what the goals are for a content creator, but maybe elaborate a little bit on what your goals are as a player.
Great question. Yeah, so obviously goals for like content creation, like just better my quality, better production, as well as obviously for boost Moonlight to really take over the One Piece world as like the best, most player friendly, like most helpful like website for One Piece players. As a player, my goal a couple months ago was to get into the top 100 on the rankings for Limitless TCG,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna have rankings on there soon as well. But now after this top 8, I'm pretty sure I'm like in the top like 70 now, which is
That's
like
awesome.
huge. So I already met that goal. My goal eventually is to get in like is to be number 1. Honestly,
Yeah,
I want
of
to be
course.
the number 1 player in all of One Piece. I want to win worlds, but of course that's like if we're talking about baby steps here. I want to win my first tournament. I haven't yet to win a tournament. I've gotten 5 top 8s. I've never won a tournament. I want to win a tournament. That's like my number 1 immediate goal. Go fucking 9-0, 10-0 at a tournament.
Love it.
Win it. And right after that, I want to get into like the top 10 for what is it called? Like in the world for rankings. And then I want to win nationals and win worlds. Like those are the goals. Yep.
That's what I like to hear, man.
Yep.
Two questions left. First one being, where can we see Heart Pirates at? What's the next big event for old Heart Pirates TCG? Where are we gonna see you at next? Whether it be in person or online, or both.
I'm gonna waitlist. I'm gonna waitlist for the Treasure Cup next week for May 17th.
Okay.
There's a chance, bro. There's a chance I might go to the Louisiana. Let me check my website real quick.
Well, I'll be
you
there.
Go to Louisiana?
Yeah, I'm already in.
When is that?
It's June 7th.
June 7th?
Yeah, I'll be driving down there.
Oh, no, I can't. I'm going to hang out with Drew that time. But I'm
Okay.
going to be in Oviedo, Florida. Oviedo.
Okay,
June
yeah,
14th,
yeah.
and I'll be in the Las Vegas regional, obviously. So I got into both those. So
Yeah.
in person, you'll see me in Florida and Vegas. Yeah.
Hell
Hopefully,
yeah,
Treasure
dude.
Cup next week, too.
Well, yeah, hopefully you get in it, dude. So you just keep farming,
Last
farming the
year
prize
Raw
cards.
With Dopey. Yeah, literally.
All right. And then for my last question before we end this thing, can you tease us with any like upcoming content that you have, like in the future? I don't know why my camera's out of focus right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, your camera like hella like
Dude,
disassociated.
it just
there.
like, just there we go.
There we go, right there. Yeah.
Alright, so let me ask it again here. Is there any content that you can tease us with that's coming out that you're very excited about? Obviously, like you said, you're very passionate about your work, which this one thing I really appreciate about you is like your work ethic and like your thought process going in to making this content. But is there anything that you can tease us that like you're super excited about that's upcoming?
Yeah, we're putting together the idea right now, but we want to do like a creator tournament with Kaizoku cards, where like we just have like, I think we're gonna do like off-meta leaders, and we're gonna have like participation like specially stamped leaders for that creator tournament. Of course, you're welcome to join if you want to.
I
That'd be a
appreciate
lot
that.
of fun. So that's gonna be pretty cool, and we also have a Jeopardy video coming up too with VV
Oh
Theory.
God, yeah.
So that's good. We just haven't like put in like the full. We don't know exactly who's going to be doing it yet. So if you're wanting to host that, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
For a host.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. So yeah, those are like the two I'm most excited about, as well as just continuing like my masterclass Mondays. I think those are fun, and it's something that really like only I can do, and I am the only one doing it for free. So I'm just excited to just keep like helping out the community in any way I can.
I love it. Well, Joey, I really appreciate you, man. This went way longer than I expected, but it was, I think I don't really plan on shortening it. I think it's just like really good quality content.
I'm gonna
through the
share
whole
this
thing.
on all my socials. I think this went so well, bro. I think this was really well done. So
I really
congratulations.
appreciate that. I really do. I'm gonna get to editing it tonight, so I should be able to clip out some of the stuff, like we're walking away from the camera to help the girls. But I really do appreciate your time. I appreciate you offering to, even come on, because I know, like, I'm not a big creator in the space yet, and I know you're pretty well established. So I'm really appreciative of the fact that you're willing to come and allow me to have some of your time, especially with, how much stuff you got going on.
We're friends, bro. Of course.
Anytime
you ever need me, bro,
of course, and I really appreciate that, and vice versa, man. Like, if you ever need anything, you can always reach out to me. It doesn't have to just be about cardboard, man. Yeah, just life. Because I know how it is, man. Like, mental health it's bad, and like, as men too, like, our pride and our ego gets in the way, and that's why I'm in the position I'm in now. Is I my career kind of came short because of not taking care of the stuff early. But I didn't know, like, I lived in a way different culture. I grew up in a way different culture of the Army, where it was like, you're a pussy if you go to the therapist. So always feel free to reach out to me if you ever need anything. Like, I'll always be there, and I'll always answer my phone. So thank you so much, Joey. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I can't wait to put this out so everyone can enjoy it. Remember, guys, follow Joey on YouTube. He's almost at 10.5. I'd love to see him there. And then his Discord, I'll put the link for the Discord here. Great community. Tons and tons of play test partners. Like, we have all kinds of people in there. You can play any deck you want. Honestly, like, we have Rishi fucking people up right now with Grape Luffy before it's even out. So he's just bullying
in there or no?
Richie's in there. He's fucking bullying everybody with the Grape Luffy. He played me and beat the dog shit out of me yesterday, and I'm like, okay, so this deck's pretty good. I'm gonna build that. But I appreciate you, Joey. I hope you have a great night, and hopefully we can have you on here again.
Absolutely, bro. Anytime.
All right, you too.
Run!